This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Now here I am at a university campus. Really feels like a trip down memory lane to come down to a university campus and look at some really young and bright people here. In my background you can see people doing a few antics. Actually they're not doing some antics, there's some really serious dancers who are dancing to Bollywood numbers to win a competition, and that's why we thought it's a very good idea to ask all of you about Bollywood and your love for Bollywood and what got you dancing in Bollywood. And I can see mostly behind me are all boys, so it's usually whenever I go to any Bollywood club I see a lot of girls. But I'll start with you, ma'am. Tell me, what got you interested in Bollywood dancing?
Well, I obviously have been watching Bollywood films for a really long time with my family, and I think I was always kind of surrounded by Bollywood songs in the car, and I just always kind of loved dancing along to those. And then I got kind of performing in kind of groups, and I absolutely loved it. Like, I love everything about Bollywood, kind of the fast songs, the slow songs, the expression, it's fun.
You're a Bollywood fan,
Yeah,
sworn Bollywood fan.
Definitely, yeah. So.
Okay. Well, what about yourself, sir? And what are you studying, and how do you kind of manage studies and Bollywood dancing?
Well, I study biochemistry. I'm a third year, and it can be really hard because, especially now, because the competition's so close. So it's like literally get up, study, dance, study, sleep. That's pretty much every day. But I grew up in Dubai, so India was really close. I would go back every summer and stuff, and like Indian weddings were just so fun. So like dancing at Indian weddings was like my thing, sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Are you the guy in the group who, I mean, most guys generally say, oh gosh, no thanks, but were you the guy who used to say, oh no, actually,
Yeah, I
you know what,
loved it.
I'm going to do it?
Because my mum put me in Shamak Davar classes when I was like 11. So I did it for about 7 years before I came to university. And so every wedding I was like, I'll dance, yes, me. But it was just so much fun.
Very good. And what about you, sir? And what are you studying on the side?
I'm a second year medical student, so yeah,
Gosh, balancing Bollywood dance with medicine, is that hard?
it's difficult. I mean, the three of us are all medical students as well, so it's a bit difficult. But like some of the guys have said, it's a bit difficult to balance your work commitments and your dance commitments. But dancing is so fun, as we've seen before. So
And then what got you interested? I mean, were you have you always been a dancer, or are you doing this as kind of a release from your heavy medical school schedule?
well, I definitely haven't been a dancer. I wasn't really interested in Bollywood before, but once I heard about the competition, I thought this is something different, a nice release from the whole work life, and I've really been.
Not interested in Bollywood before. I mean, are you guys really? Do you take him seriously in this group then?
To be honest, we have quite a lot of guys who haven't really danced too much before. Like, they might not be what you would consider natural dancers, but the way everyone's improved throughout this whole process, like, it's incredible. And like,
Heard it from the expert, huh? He's been doing this for many years. Okay, and tell me, ma'am, you have a very different kind of background. You're born in France and you go to school here. Tell me, in terms of you joining this Bollywood group, how did this come about?
So one of the girls on my course is one of the choreographers, and I've been dancing for as long as I can remember, and anything to do with dance I will happily throw myself into. And she told me about the Bollywood auditions, and she said, oh, come along. And actually when I came to auditions it was really fun, and we're all smiling and it's really energetic and everything. And starting rehearsals, it's been really great seeing all the different sides. And
Have you watched a Bollywood movie in your life?
no, I haven't. Maybe I shouldn't say this now, surrounded by you guys. No, I
Surrounded
haven't.
by hardcore Bollywood fans, this is an admission that you're making at your own risk.
Little secret that.
But maybe soon.
Yeah. Once we have a bit more time after rehearsals, because at the minute it's a bit, yeah.
Okay, apart from you all taking part in dance and all of that, tell me a bit about Bollywood itself. I mean, the whole effect of Bollywood on immigrant communities and expatriate communities like yourselves, who have kind of grown up away from India. What does Bollywood mean to you? I mean, is it just kind of, oftentimes I remember myself many years ago, Bollywood was sort of not looked down upon, but almost not taken that seriously in the West, as you know, those singing, dancing people. But now it's taken much more seriously, isn't it? I mean, tell me, is that true?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always loved Bollywood dancing, but I've also done kind of Western forms of dancing. And in school, when I was young, there was never any of that Bollywood kind of in school. But as I grew up, I got more and more involved in choreographing, and I then brought in Bollywood styles in school. And people actually are so open to it now, and so like kind of enthusiastic to learn those styles. And people love it. I mean, people in the West kind of love kind of the colour, the expression, the fun. So yeah, it's definitely kind of definitely increased in terms of its kind of effect on.
And to you personally, I mean, dance and Bollywood and all of that, is that kind of your window into India almost? Is that, do you kind of, I won't say make judgments about India, but kind of know the real India through through this media?
Yeah, definitely. I think living here and kind of having like kind of being very British myself, it's hard to kind of hold on to Indian culture, but through dance, it's been like the biggest way I've kind of held on to that. And I've seen India, and I've learned about different parts of India through films. Kind of, and that's kind of hard to kind of learn, kind of being in England.
You're smiling as she was talking about that. Is that similar to your experience, or?
Yeah, quite similar, I'd say. Like, so there's a huge Indian community back in Dubai, but even then, like when you go to movies, Bollywood's just such a great release. And okay, we go back to India quite a few times, but you tend to go back to the same places, so you see the same sort of culture. And India's just so massive. So like I've never been to Orissa, I've never been to Gujarat and stuff, but you see those kinds of cultures which you wouldn't normally experience. And
or Chennai, on Chennai Express, or
exactly, like south, north, east, west, everywhere. And it just gives you a much broader window into India than you normally would. And especially with recent Bollywood movies, like, yes, you have the song and the dance and the fun, but they've also matured over the years, at least in my perspective. And you get really thoughtful in movies as well. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why people don't just see it as song and dance, because you get really serious, hard-hitting Indian movies now. And
like which ones? Give us an example.
Like, I love Three Idiots. It was just so good. And
a path-breaking movie in many ways, wasn't it?
Of course, like, I mean, Amir Khan, he's just brilliant. Like, I love him to death. But that was one of the movies that my school friends, I went to a British school, so they were all white, and they were like, have you seen this movie? I was like, how have you heard about this? They were like, oh, like, we've heard about this, like, we've gone and seen this. I was like, that's crazy. It's like the first movie I've ever heard of other cultures enjoying from Bollywood. And like, that was one of the first. Like, then you had Slumdog Millionaire and stuff like that, and it's just like continued since. So I think like Bollywood as a whole has just been evolving really, really well over the last couple of years.
Very good. I mean, that perfectly segues actually into my next question, which I wanted to ask. Not you, because you're yet to see your first Bollywood movie, but I want to ask you, sir, tell me, I mean, in terms of changing Bollywood and the changing themes and different kind of scripts and all of that, is that something that appeals to kind of a more global audience like yourself? I mean, not just the regular kind of song and dance routines, but also deeper themes like Three Idiots, and also other movies that explore kind of more complex subjects than just kind of a romance between poor girl, rich man sort of thing.
Well, I think people know Bollywood more for its whole like song and dance culture, but I think expanding into more deeper themes is something that I think definitely the Western world can appreciate more. And for us growing up away from India, we have a mix of both cultures. And I think for us, that's our kind of bridge from traditional Bollywood into a more modern, developed Bollywood. And I think it's really interesting for us to see. And especially in the UK, in places with like high Asian populations such as London or Birmingham or Leicester, you see that Bollywood movies, its cinema releases are so popular. Like I have a lot of family who go and attend the premieres of Bollywood films, and it's so nice to see that even though we've grown up in England, we still maintain
kind of a cross-cultural backdrop. And with you, tell me, in terms of Bollywood dance to people outside the Asian community, how is it viewed? I mean, is it as something that people do in those kind of colorful costumes, dancing around trees, or do you think the perception of Bollywood is gradually changing to be taken much more seriously as cinema from the East, where they do things differently?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think that there's quite, from a dancing perspective, I think there's quite a lot of respect for Bollywood, because there's huge amounts of energy that go into it, and whole stories are told just through dance, and that's actually quite difficult to do. And I definitely think what you were saying about all the serious themes, that I think they can be taken quite seriously as a culture, as they're incorporating more than just the the fairy tale kind of ideas.
Absolutely. Okay. And just before we wrap, I want to ask all of you, so all of you are, gonna. Obviously, you all are part of the winning competition. You're winning team in this competition, right? I mean, obviously, that goes without saying. But I want to ask all of you that your own personal kind of dedication to this dance, is it just limited to something that you do outside of university, or is it something that you'd perhaps one day even want to pursue as a career or as a part-time career? I know all of you are going to become successful doctors, so I'm in no way suggesting that you'll leave medicine and become, but is that something that, who wants to do that here? I mean, something that you can do semi-professionally or, yeah? Tell me a bit about it.
Like, so recently we went to Cardiff and we performed in the Diwali Bowl there, and just the feel of performing for an audience, I love that feeling. Like when you're on stage, it's one of the best feelings ever. And if I managed to figure out a way where I could do it on the side as well, I would jump on that opportunity. It's just so fun.
And how do you think your parents would react?
I mean, my parents have always kind of supported me. Like, since I was young, I've been performing, and so I never want to stop performing ever. And my parents have always been behind that. Obviously, like alongside my career, but I never want to stop kind of being on stage and performing for other people.
And maybe in a Bollywood movie one day?
That's the dream. No, that could never happen because I can't speak Hindi. But that literally.
But you can always dance.
Oh no, I'd love that, 100%.
Yeah?